Yesterday, Rigathi was live at Rogi TV to have a discussion with the Luos, and guess who tried to take him off air prior to the interview? None other than PS Raymond Omolo, the same guy who allegedly abducted Babu Owino's brother-in-law. Just have a look at this tweet from Rigathi shedding light on the same, and I quote, "Mr. Raymond Omolo, stop trying to have my engagement with the Luo Nation cancelled. It won't work. Stop pressuring Communication Authority to switch off signals and deny the Luo Nation the opportunity to listen to me. Allow the Luo Nation to listen to everybody and make an informed decision. This is a community of learned and intelligent people that have a huge capacity to interrogate issues as presented to them and decide what is useful and what are lies. Don't belittle the community by thinking you own them and that you can decide who should and who should not talk to them." Fortunately for us, Raymond Omolo failed and the interview still took place. Now, in this video, I want us to look into what was said by Rigathi at Rogi TV, and so with no further ado, let's get after it. Number one, ODM is currently being promised a lot of things by this administration, and Rigathi is not new to those cheap promises za Kasongo. So all he's saying is, look, our Luo brothers and sisters, be cautious when you're dealing with this guy. And if you must deal with this guy to avoid getting conned, these are the irrevocable minimums that he must deliver. Just listening to this stellar advice.
What ODM should do, my honest advice, because I can see it being destroyed, and I can see them along the way crying the way the mountain is crying. One, ODM is owed 12 billion through the political parties fund. If William Ruto is serious that he wants ODM to stand as a political party, John Badi is the CS National Treasury. They should reduce, ODM should demand 12 billion shillings owed to ODM to be released to ODM so that financially they are independent and they can chart their own course. Number two, the president has been to Nyanza and made many promises. He has one budget to go, 2026-2027 financial year. Before the elections and after, he made a lot of promises to the mountain people. Mau roads, this, that. Nothing has been done for 4 years. What ODM must make us reducible minimum. All those projects he has announced, they must demand that money be reflected in this last budget. Because if there is no money in the last budget, if there is no money in the last budget, that is just a campaign gimmick.
Asante.
Listen, let me say a few things I want to say. That money should be reflected in the budget. And it should not be a token. If the project is 1 billion, you can't put 50 million in budget for the next financial year and say the project is funded. The money must be put in the budget. Number three, whatever relationship, whatever agreement that they want with William Ruto, let them learn from me. It must be made public. If they are being promised that they will be given the deputy president, it must be announced publicly. Whatever they are being promised, there should be a public pronouncement. Because the mistake I made, we did some things under the table in writing. Even Musalia, they did the same. All those things were not honored by William Ruto. And I can tell the people of ODM, things they are agreeing with him, they will not be honored unless he makes a public pronouncement. And they should demand early enough so that they have time to look elsewhere in case they are not satisfied with what they are agreeing with him.
I agree with everything Rigathi said except the political parties fund. Under no circumstance should Treasury be sending 12 billion to ODM or any other party within this republic. In fact, I would dare say we need an opposition candidate who will promise us to scrap the political parties fund. Because why is ODM getting 12 billion? SHA is not working. And if ODM is getting 12 billion, what is UDA getting? Hawawezi jinyima pesa? Are they getting 20 billion annually? While still usurping money from NSSF and other places to do illegal empowerments. We need a candidate who will commit to cancelling this illegal thing called political parties fund. Chama ikuwe funded na the members. Kama uko na wabunge 20, our wabunge 20 they remit to the party from their salary. There's nothing else coming from the taxpayer. Kwani sisi ni members of that party? Why would my tax be going to ODM? I don't like ODM. I've never cared about ODM. Naye kuna mwingine ajali kuhusu DCP. They hate Rigathi. Why is their tax going to Rigathi? So that thing is a thing of the past and it should be buried if you ask me. Number two, Trevor Ombija was very much in his feelings. How so? He kept attacking Gachagua over and over and over while holding unpleasant facial expressions. Just listening to the kind of worthless questions Trevor Ombija was asking Gachagua.
Can he respond to Ruto about the murder of girls after impregnating them? Eric Okach from Kisumu.
I cannot respond to nonsense, pettiness, and gossip. President has sunk too low. He has become a gossiper. Instead of addressing real issues affecting this country has a debt of 14 trillion. He is not bothered. We are facing a crisis on fuel shortage. He is not addressing it. He is on top of a vehicle saying that somebody's cow has died because of a tick. What kind of pettiness is that? Hata ng'ombe ya mtu ikikufa na wewe ni president, unaongea hiyo ni maneno ya ujinga na fitina ambayo haina haja.
He's dedicating 1% of his time to respond to you.
No,
you're the one who started this
but the kind of things he's talking do not warrant my response. They are too petty and too childish.
It's no wonder by the end of the interview, Rigathi said this.
Actually. But even then,
have you been told what happened?
Let's have your final comments because we've run out of time here. Just a minute.
Well, Trevor, you have been very biased in this show, which is very unprofessional because, anyway, let me not go into that. Let me say my closing remarks.
You know, the journalists at Citizen TV can sometimes be special. I don't think Trevor was there to conduct an interview per se. He was there to argue with Rigathi and to, you know, show his voters in Nyakach because he wants to be their MP. He wants to show them that he can take on Gachagua and, you know, he's playing politics. Posture politics. It's pointless. Number 3, Trevor Ombija stole the show once more by openly defending the party that we know will give him a ticket in Nyakach, aka ODM. Just listening to this poor and overly combative journalism.
And that is why they want to kick out Sifuna, because Sifuna cannot agree to that scheme.
The statements of the ODM being sold is the one thing you keep referring to, but you can't tell us how much.
But I've asked you.
And you keep referring to
doesn't
Sifuna. That is one person.
That
is just a fallout with one
person. No, you are low. Doesn't it bother you? That a man is inherited before he is buried.
I'm not the one answering the question. You're the one answering the question.
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing a question.
You're the one answering the question.
For your own mind.
Why would you say it's been bought?
But why don't you? Why are you not asking me to explain?
We're asking you to explain how much was it bought for, and you're not telling us.
Lots of money.
How much?
A lot of money.
What was the deposit?
Lots of money.
Is it because one person leaves, then now a party has been bought?
Lots of money.
And I've asked you the same question. Have you bought Wiper and DAPK, the ones you're working with?
I don't know why you want to bring Wiper and DAPK.
Because it's a coalition. You're the one who's told us you've been in politics for long. So we're trying to understand.
I don't know why you want to play advocate for William Ruto. Aren't you bothered as a law that ODM is getting finished? You should be bothered. That is your vehicle. That is a vehicle that Raila Odinga developed for the community.
Anywho, when it's all said and done, Trevor, I believe you managed to please 32% of the country in that bogus interview. But personally, I wish you all the best. If you going to contest in Nyakach will create space for better journalists at Citizen TV, then so be it. That's just my take on the matter, guys. Let's see what Kenzo next had to say, especially pertaining to the advice Gachagua had for ODM, the irrevocable or irreducible minimums. And I quote, Hubert said, good advice to ODM party, but again, they are blinded by designed hatred against a certain community and Kasongo's manipulations. Google said, as a major political force, ODM must stand firm on the 3 non-negotiable demands before entering any agreement: the strict zoning off of its traditional strongholds, securing the deputy position seat, and ensuring Treasury releases the 12 billion which is owed to the party. Samu said, the Luo Momus who told Gachagua they don't want to hear from him are actually the ones who are glued to this interview 100%. Actually, it's them updating the rest of us how the interview went. Affordable bloggers have no shame left. Well, that's that, but what say you guys? Do drop me your comments in the comment section below and I'll do best to read them and to give you a response. So with that, here today's ads of the day. If you're in need of electrical wiring, solar installation, or electrical fittings such as strip lights, snake lights, downlighters, or chandeliers, contact Engineer Wycliffe at 0707 476602 and he'll get your house dapped up.
Right now, I'm with my team headed to a client's house in Ruiru for consultation. That is to take measurements of the windows, go through our catalog with the client, and then once they decide on the color and the fabric they want, we'll get busy sewing, and at long last, the curtains installation will be on us. So if you're looking for curtains, shears, curtain rods, curtain accessories, reach out to Phoenix Curtains and Interior Decor and we will sort you out. Call us on 0724 414153.
If you're here for the first time, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching from a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula. Hit the subscribe button. You're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Alright guys, adios. Thank you for choosing David Wafula as your primary news platform. We put countless hours in research, recording, and editing. By showing up each and every day to watch our videos, you encourage us to generate more videos for the viewers. We are on a mission to inform, educate, and build a better tomorrow. To our thousands of followers in a world full of presidents, kings, and queens, you are the real gem. Adios.